Darrin, the man. You made it.
What's going on? How's everything, Frank?
Looking good. How are you, my friend?
What's going on, man? How's everything?
Good to see you, Doctor. Thanks so
Good,
much for
good.
joining us, man.
Sorry I'm running
So
late.
good. No, it's all right. Is it crazy out there? Is it crazy out
Well,
there?
the one thing is I'm black, so I'm actually early. It's 7. I was supposed to be here at 7:25. It's 7:33. I'm actually early. I'm a black guy. They should have told me to be here at 6 a.m.
It's my fault.
And then I
It's
would
my
have got
fault.
here
I
at
apologize.
7:25.
I apologize.
You are the
You gotta follow the natural order.
What
man.
would your race have anything to do with time, Doctor? I mean, really?
We as black people are consistent when it comes to time. We are. So actually, I'm early. Matter of fact,
Hey,
please.
look at. I have to tell you, this is one of the best dressed guys as well. Look at it. If I may, your socks. Who wears light socks? Excuse me. Look at Uncle Joe with the light socks. If you would, Darrin, let me see your socks, brother. Let me see him. Look at it. Look at it. Light.
Wow.
Look at that. Come on now. Come on now. There. Whoa. Yeah.
We go
man.
back to boomerang. You gotta coordinate, right? You can't stop there. You gotta
shirt,
keep going,
mushroom jacket.
right? I got the mushroom underwear under here. You ready, Joe? You wanna see?
Oh, no, Jesus. Oh my God! It's what you're perfect morning. You're in the right mood for us this morning. It's like, oh, after all this, how are you, Lieutenant? Good to
I'm
see you?
good. I'm good.
Good to see you, man.
Glad to see you too,
You
Joe.
too. Well-
Especially with the blue. What are those? Alligator or crocodile
Yeah.
shoes?
You know, I don't think we killed
This
an
guy
animal.
is playing no games here at all. Hey, look, you know what's so crazy? When we hear about these people that are fur activists and things to that effect,
Yeah,
those are the same people that'll sit in a leather chair. So you tell me, if there's not a conflict there, I don't know what it is.
I don't mind the cow that I'm sitting on right now, but when if I got whack on a crocodile or a snake, 'cause I think that's what happened with these shoes or something like that. But people like blue, man. I got blue shoes, you know. Look at it, I got blue shoes. People notice them, boom, like that. I'm telling you, I never knew. I never was really that fashionable, you know. I just kind of got into this later in life, you know.
Joe, you've always been a fashionable
Oh
guy.
God, you know.
You kidding me?
The vest is a nice touch, man. I got to check that out.
Well,
I did-
thank you. Appreciate it.
Very nice. All good with you?
I'm good. I'm
I see on
great.
Fox News you're like busy all the time, 24/7, man.
I mean, I'm doing what I'm doing, but
Yeah.
I love coming on this show,
No,
especially with you. Joe, I told you before, you're my idol going back years ago on Saturday Night Live.
How old were you? You had to be 5
Actually,
years old.
Eddie
man.
Murphy looked up to you, probably, right?
I was like, I'll tell
he
you
was
what.
your understudy, right?
You know what? There were times I felt like a big brother because when he hit the success and it was so big, and then it got. I mean, seriously, he would get. There was some racial. It would get some derogatory racial mail, and I'm being kind, but and he would come to me. And I would say, hey man, just please don't even think about that. That's just some crazies out there. And I was very protective of him when we would go out because he was like Elvis when he went out, and I was like the big brother. So there was that kind of element like that, you know.
Okay,
You know.
cool. It's so weird. I remember seeing Joe with the guns out and all of that. Now,
Come on. I'm
see, there
trying-
we go. There we go.
Working out,
What are
trying-
you
not
working
on the-
with? 28s or 30s?
Man, I'll tell you what. I just started working out and now we have a gym. Where you living in New York? Don't give us your.
I
address.
live in New York.
What house? No, because you know you can come down to. We got a gym down in Retro Fitness in Flemington, New Jersey. How cool is that, man? We could work out together, huh? Have
Whenever
some
you're
laughs?
ready, hey,
You know?
we can start doing push-ups on the break here, right? Let's up the ante now.
You know, NYPD Lieutenant and criminal justice professor at Pace University, and a former Army officer. What a resume, man!
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
So you must
that
be.
means a lot coming from you.
Nah, man. You know, my daddy was in the Second World War. I told you that. He was a captain in the
Yes,
United States
yes,
Army Air
yes,
Corps.
yes.
In front of a class, you must just rip it up. I mean, when you're a professor.
Well, there's ups and downs, because when you look at the way the liberal base is moving, the agenda is shifted into the classroom, and oftentimes it's a war with me, but by and large, it works out pretty well. I think that I have a good relationship with the students that come into my class, but every now and then you have an outlier that you got to take down.
The students come in liberal-minded already, you think?
Nonstop. When I tell you nonstop, I mean, it's funny when we look at this thing about, eradicating the police in the subway system and bringing down the fares. Who's going to pay for this? Fine. All right. We remove the police, then we create the movie The Purge, right? Now we got a situation where people are going to pay. It's the same people that are complaining about cops being in the subway are the same people that will immediately dial 911 when someone snatches the iPhone because it's buried in their lap. So,
Thank you.
You tell me.
You know, that's the thing that you can't forget, that when people are in stressed areas and the police are vilified sometimes in these areas, that the first person you're going to call is a cop. Your thoughts on what happened in the Bronx, man? We were so lucky. Man, people would go like this.
Yeah,
there, you know, you make sign of the cross. We just, I mean, 3 cops could have been killed. We could have had funerals all today by the grace of God. And this guy, this creep, he was arrested. And then they let him out. What the heck's going on, man?
Tragic example of the vilification of police. One of the things, I worked in that neighborhood, and we go back to Fort Apache, the movie Fort Apache, the Bronx, back in the 1970s.
You're too young for that.
I'm 53 years old.
Oh,
Paul Newman starred in this movie, Fort Apache, the Bronx. That was that same area, the 4-1 precinct, Simpson Street, Longwood, etc. So when we look at what happened there, this was kind of like a kickback of what happened in the 70s.
Yeah.
And it was a tragic situation. We had this madman that said, look, you know what? I'm going to shoot 2 cops. But that wasn't enough. You can't stop there. Then he takes it into the precinct and picks up where he left off 12 hours later. And it gets back to, what is the temperament that we're setting in this city in terms of law-abidingness? And I'm not saying that everyone has to follow the letter of the law, but this is an extreme case because now we have a situation where we have a person that's willing to take out cops.
Yeah.
If that person is willing to take out cops, what does that mean for your 80-year-old grandmother or your pregnant wife when you're in the street? We're living in a society that needs to have law and order, and this is a clear reflection of the misdirection that the politicians are taking the city in as a result.
Do you have time to stay with us, man?
I got a bed laid out, man. What are you kidding me? I came to eat and drink for free. I'm not going nowhere.
Dr. Darrin Porcher, man, this guy is a true star. He has served his country and continues to do so valiantly. Please stay with us, all right? We
I'm
want
here.
you to stay with
I'm
us
locked
a little
in.
bit. We love Dr. Darrin Porcher staying with us.